Hello, sorry about that.
No, it's no problem at all. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us before a show. It's really appreciated.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I completely forget these things. I've ADHD and I forget completely.
Oh, I don't. Even having multiple calendars and phones, and I still forget stuff.
Oh, it's
so
got to be done, isn't it? Yeah.
So how's life at the moment then?
How's life?
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's good. I'm touring around, and it's wonderful. I did my back in at the gym a couple of days ago, so that's making the show somewhat sedentary.
Right, okay.
But normally I'm bouncing around. But it's still, it's going really well. I'm really enjoying it. Having a lot of fun.
I was going to ask, it's obviously the first show you've done since 2018. What can fans expect from Anna this time?
Well, it's Anna facing the end. It's her last ever show.
Right.
Yeah, so she's aware that she doesn't have long left to live. She could pop off at any time.
Right.
She said it's a heart. It's too full, apparently.
Right. Okay.
She could go at any point, So she wants to tell the story of her life.
Yeah.
As she sort of remembers it.
Right.
But as a show, in terms of different to previous shows, the previous shows were more, so I did a show about depression as Anna, and I did a show about fascism as Anna, and this show is kind of about death, the ultimate enemy. So there's quite a lot of, as with other shows, quite sweet. Can you hear me okay? Sorry.
Yeah, it's all fine. It's perfect.
Quite sweet and truthful and hopefully quite moving bits in the show.
Yeah.
But generally it's kind of gag heavy, funny, stupid, Anna getting things wrong, as always, basically. But more so, I'd say it's more of everything. If you've seen the previous shows, it's more of that. Yeah. It's all that, but more.
Brilliant. Like you said, it's the final show. Why are you closing this chapter now? Why now?
Well, a few reasons. On practical reason, I really want to grow a beard.
Okay, okay.
It's really annoying that I keep shaving off, because my wife likes to tell me I look a lot better with a beard, which is slightly insulting, but, I'm like, okay, fine. But I actually had some headshots done recently with a beard, and I was like, okay, I'm committing to it now.
Yeah, you can't.
So
there's no going back.
Partly just, I've always wanted to do stuff as myself. I've been trying it out quite a lot with Ricky Gervais, doing his warm-ups for his show, and he's been great. He's been very encouraging as to that stuff.
Right.
And it's sort of, I'm just really intrigued to be myself on stage.
Is that something you've done before?
I've always dabbled with it a little bit.
Right.
But I've kind of almost, I think it's quite scary for me, because I always play these characters.
Yeah.
And it's trying to not make it, trying to find the thing that people find funny when I'm on stage being Anna or whatever. But, But make it me. It's going really well. I sort of announced that I was doing this Death of Anna Mann, and I've already got my next show kind of pretty much worked out, really.
Right.
Colin Hoult show. But then this show did really well. I'm like, should I just keep doing Anna,
What inspired you to take her back out on the road now?
Well, partly just we were doing this last show. You mean for touring and so
on? Yeah.
Well, it's just a knock-on from Edinburgh, really.
Right.
It's good to... Edinburgh's great. It's nice to not make it feel like the be-all and end-all kind of thing.
Right.
I think it just encourages you to do a better show, knowing you've got to go and do it like I am tonight in Aberdeen in like a random nightclub, it turns out. It's quite
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, well, it's part of the festival. No, it's a really good room. It's like but it's above a sort of late night bar kind of.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I've been in a few of those.
It's quite interesting because the Edinburgh Festival is a real bubble.
Yeah. People
respond a certain way, which you have to. I found you have to adapt quite quickly on tour.
Right.
It still works great. It's been lovely, but with Edinburgh, everyone's used to seeing these hour shows. Whereas you have to give a bit more of the sort of, I'm going to entertain you.
Yeah.
It's an hour of fun feel to it, I think, on tour. That in Edinburgh, it's a bit more like your little hour, whatever you want it to be. Whereas this is a bit more like, come on, give us a show kind of thing, which I actually like. I love that it's a bit more exciting and edge of the seat on tour, I think.
Definitely. Okay, I mean, a lot of the tours have sold out on, and she's obviously a hugely popular character. What's been the weirdest experience you've had on stage with her, or as Anna?
As Anna?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. Well, you know what I'm finding quite weird, which is quite fun on tour? I keep getting audience members who are kind of women about Anna's age.
Right, okay.
They're very into Anna.
Okay.
Almost like start responding like I'm responding.
Oh, okay.
Because I talk to the audience a lot, I say things like, do you remember, darling, when I was in blah, 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 some stupid made-up show that I've done or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll sort of respond like, oh, God, yes, It's almost like they want to get up on the stage. I'm like fighting them off. Which is lovely, but it's also can be quite distracting.
Yeah.
But that happened at a few of the early gigs, and I was like, "Is this going to happen every time?"
Well, okay.
So that was fun. Various random things have happened over the years. I've had a few people sort of breaking down in tears and that.
Really?
The show, which is nice.
Okay.
Which is nice. I don't know what I mean, but as in it's they're very it does move people, and that's it feels quite an honour that that's worked, because I didn't know whether that would or not.
Right. That kind of leads into a similar question I was going to ask. I mean, have you looked ahead to the kind of final show, and kind of what do you think your emotions will be when she takes her final bow?
Well, it is quite sad. It gets me every time, even at the minute, even though I know I've got probably like 50 more shows at least. It gets me like the ending, without spoiling it, it does deal with that.
Yeah.
I think I will be sad. I mean, there is an element of open-endedness to it. So
okay.
It's not impossible she'll come back.
Right.
But it is the end of an era and all that, and it's very bizarre because, I say we'll be there at 6:30 or whatever, like I talk about like she's with me on the road.
Yeah.
It's quite mad. It does feel like another person to me. It's very bizarre. But then sometimes I come off stage and I'm like, oh, thank God I'm going to be being myself again.
Yeah, you've said it.
Sick of her.
I mean, you've said it's a personal vehicle for your own life and your own experiences as well. When you kind of stop being Anna going forward, how difficult do you think you'll find it to not resurrect her, or think that situation would be perfect for an Anna routine?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to sort of find is like Anna in myself, I suppose.
Right.
I want to try and find the things that are Anna, that it is, it is me ultimately.
Yeah.
Which my wife finds really funny. That I talk about it like it's this person who's doing well. Sometimes I almost like complain that I'm not doing as well as her.
Yeah.
And she's like, but it is you, and I'm like, oh yeah. So it's very weird. But I don't know really. I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting. It's still going to be, the thing I'm doing going forward, it's still going to be quite theatrical. There's going to be singing and stuff involved and characters involved, but I'm going to be the main person basically on stage. So it'll be interesting to see, really, for me anyway, and hopefully for the audience.
Definitely. Okay, I mean, just on a completely random note, obviously Liz Truss has just taken over as Prime Minister. If Anna, now she's obviously leaving the stage, but if Anna was to take over as Prime Minister, what changes do you think she'd make to the country?
What change? I think she'd make everything fabulous. I think she'd make it so you had to sort of check in on people and go, are you all right? You know what I mean? I think the current government relies very much on everyone hating each other.
Yeah.
They're literally deliberately trying to spin a sort of like, weird, an otherness. I think they're trying to create, they're the baddies and we're the goodies. Trust us because we're safe,
Yeah.
And I think instead Anna would instill a lovely thing where you were encouraged to at least check everyone's okay around you.
Oh yeah, I mean it has to be done. I do that all the time.
Yeah,
it's got to be done.
It's hard to do though, isn't it? But yeah.
Okay. On another note, then, I mean, obviously Anna's ending her life on stage, which is where she should be. But if she could go out in the most Anna Mann way possible, what could you imagine it would be like?
The most Anna Mann, well, it would be on stage, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think she'd probably strap herself to some sort of rocket and shoot into the crowd and take a few of them with her. And I know they'd be glad for that. Yeah,
it would be one. It would be a hell of a way to go.
A lot of fans don't want to carry on once she's gone, I think.
Yeah. Do you think that's the case? Are people trying to persuade you to not stop?
Oh yeah, after every gig they're like, "Tell me she's not going. Tell me she's." Which is like, I mean, to be honest, in all seriousness, it's like unbelievable for me. It's just, it's wonderful, It's so bizarre that it's created this sort of this affection.
Yeah.
I think during the pandemic, it was really I ended up doing loads of online shows.
Right.
And then it got to a point, like everyone, I kind of panicked when it all happened and like, quick, let's do as many online things as we can,
Yeah.
But then I ended up bizarrely getting more work than ever.
Okay, yeah.
But I kept doing the shows partly because I felt we were a little tribe,
Yeah.
And genuinely, some people kind of needed it. Not just my shows, but other people's shows. And it, and what's been really nice on tour is most places I've gone, at least one or two people have turned up from those days.
Yeah. I mean, that must be kind of quite... Does that not leave you with a kind of doubt of like, maybe I shouldn't give this up? Because obviously that must be an incredible feeling that people have continued to support you and you've been getting work and people have been interested throughout a really difficult time.
Yeah, totally. I mean, one thing is I do want to do more. It's a bit like I went to that David Bowie documentary, and he was kind of, when he died was when I did my first Anna Mann show.
Right.
Coincidence? No. But I did. I remember watching Heroes, the video to Heroes, the Bowie song, and that's what it felt really like he was almost like, in a weird way, like saying, yeah, it's okay, do this show, it'll be great. Do you know what I mean? But similarly to David Bowie, I'm like, I definitely have this thing, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, but I have this thing where I just want to move on all the time.
Right, okay.
I'm like, no, I've done that, next thing,
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily helpful for my career, because I think it's better to build on things.
Okay.
But, I don't know, I feel like she'll always be there, but I never want to be doing the same thing, I don't want to be doing her in 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, do you think she's different now to the Anna from pre-lockdown or the last tour? Do you think there's a difference in the character?
I think there's more, definitely more evolved, and there's more gags, and the gags are more sort of real and elaborate and stuff, which is lovely. So yeah, I think so.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, I mean, just then, you've talked about, obviously, like there's been a lot of great experiences. What have been the highlights of the last year for you then?
Of doing the show?
Yeah.
I think, I did, there's a wonderful festival in Machynlleth in Wales, which I do every year, and Anna's always been really well received there, and I did a preview, and it was in a massive venue by chance, just as I had to go, so they had to put me in a bigger venue, because I had to change my time. It was this big church hall. It was it still wasn't finished, the show, but it had such a beautiful reception.
Okay.
That was, I think, what really encouraged me to keep going with it,
Yeah.
So I'd say that was one of my highlights, but just things like, I've done like 11 Edinburgh shows over the years, and I've never had a horrible year, really.
Right.
I've had shows that haven't gone as well, but generally it's been good, but this is the first time I was like on the sold out board and, selling out, doing extra shows, and it was just beautiful, it's such a lovely feeling.
Brilliant.
And then, just like getting standing ovations, and as I say, people like being brought to tears and stuff. It's the greatest thing in the world to feel like something you've created has moved people,
Yeah. On that note, I mean, why do you think people have connected with her over the years?
I think she's very honest. I think there's actually a kindness to her, because sometimes people often say things, you always get a bit annoyed when people go, oh yeah, she's like one of those crap actresses, isn't she? Or she's like one of those kind of awful people. And I think, no, she's great,
Yeah.
She's actually really cool and kind of really funny, and I wish I had a lot of her sort of confidence and character and and just boldness.
Okay, is that not, like you said, you're looking at going into stand-up, into your own comedy next year. Is there anything you take from her personality into your own act?
Definitely. It's so weird. I don't know if other character comics have felt this, but it is like I've created someone I sort of like more than myself, and I feel like has more values and kind of,
right.
yeah, like the way I talk to the audience, I always chat to the audience, but I never want it to be mean or sort of snide or innuendo-y in the wrong, do you know what I mean? In a kind of like, kind of way. And it's all very sort of truthful. And what she tries to do is pick out, because she really believes in people, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, whoever they are, she's like sees everyone as if they're also a great actress, you know?
Definitely. Okay, brilliant. Okay, I mean, just to finish off then, we've got, just for next year, what are your plans other than your own comedy? Have you got anything else lined up?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few TV shows coming out. I don't know if I can mention them because I don't know, but a few things I'm in. Yeah. So building on that, and then hopefully working on this new show and writing. Really, I want to. It's a really. I'm at that nice place where it's gone really well, and hopefully I don't fuck it up.
Brilliant. I'm sure everything will be perfect. We just have one random question to ask, and this came out from another interview. It's a bit of a just for fun question, and the guy gave a really random answer, so we've just started throwing it out with people. If you were to be locked in a cage for 24 hours, what would be your worst nightmare to be locked in with, or who would be your worst nightmare?
Oh fuck. Who would I be in if I was in a cage for 24 hours?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be an item, or it can be a thing. It can be anything.
I think like 3 or 4 of those sort of banker types.
Right.
The city men.
Yeah.
Like alpha city men.
Oh God, yeah.
And they've all got beer. They're like going raw and sort of just being obnoxious.
Yeah.
I do dread the idea, in Lost or something like that.
No, don't. I know where you're going with this.
Terrors where I think, fuck, if I was like on an island, I'd have no skills, and I'd just be immediately walked over by those sort of men.
Yep, another type.
So yeah, there you go. I better go, I'm afraid.
No, that's
really
absolutely perfect.
I did my makeup as I did it, which sort of felt very LA,
No, that's perfect. I really appreciate you talking to us. Is there anything you want to say just to wrap up?
No, just come to the show. I've got an Anna Mann podcast, which is out again. I've started doing that again, so people can hear some more of her there. And I've also got a podcast called Epic Things. It's very exciting. And we're going to be doing more of these shows in the spring. I think we've got an announcement coming on Tuesday, so look out for that.